I just wanna chill and twist the lie, catch stunts in my 745. You drive me crazy, shorty. I need to see you and feel you next to me. I provide everything you need, and I like your smile. I don't wanna see you cry. Got some questions that I gotta ask, and I hope you can come up with the answers, babe. Girl, hey, it's easy to love me now. Hey, would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? It's easy to love me now. Oh, now, would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? If I fell off tomorrow, would you still love me? If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me? If I got locked up and sentenced to a quarter century, could I count on you to be there to support me mentally? If I went back to a hoopty from a Benz, would you poof and disappear like some of my friends? If I was hit and I was hurt, would you be by my side? If it was time to put in work, would you be down to ride? I get out and peel a brother cap, chill and dry. I'm asking questions to find out how you feel inside. If I ain't rap cause I flip burgers at Burger King, would you be ashamed to tell your friends you're feeling me? In the bed if I use my tongue, would you like that? If I wrote you a love letter, would you write back? Now we could have a little drink, you know, a nightcap, and we could go do what you like, I know you like that. Girl, it's easy to love me now. Oh, now, would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? It's easy to love me now. Woo. Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? Now would you leave me if your father found out I was thugging? Do you believe me when I tell you you the one I'm loving? Are you mad cause I'm asking you 21 questions? Are you my soulmate? Cause if so, girl, you a blessing. Do you trust me enough to tell me your dreams? I'm staring at you trying to figure how you got in them jeans. If I was down, would you say things to make me smile? I treat you how you wanna be treated, just teach me how. If I was with some other chick and someone happened to see, and when you asked me about it, I said it wasn't me, would you believe me or up and leave me? How deep is our bond if that's all it takes for you to be gone? We only humans, girl, we make mistakes to make it up, I do whatever it takes. I love you like a fat kid love cake. You know my style, I say anything to make you smile. Girl, hey, it's easy to love me now. Oh no, would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? It's easy to love me now. Oh, would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? Could you love me in a Bentley? Could you love me on a bus? I'll ask 21 questions, and they all about us. Could you love me in a Bentley? Could you love me on a bus? I'll ask 21 questions, and they all about us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to something that we like to call the SUR Files. My name is Joshie Lopez. We are a Bravo-based podcast. This is also a look back on the popular franchise known as Vanderpump Rules. And with the SUR Files, it's not a ripoff of the Vile Files. We can promise you that. The SUR Files is a very unique outlook and look back on what made Vanderpump Rules one of the most iconic TV shows in reality TV history. Not only that, but also delving into the Bravo universe as a whole. Also looking into shows like The Valley. We'll dabble around the Housewives universe when we can. But also, we're going to bring back a lot of receipts in a lot of ways with this podcast. Now, I must stress here, this is your first time listening or watching to the SUR Files right now. I want you guys to know that this will be a positive experience. We're not going to go our way to personally degrade people. And most importantly, we're not playing any teams here. This is not a Team Ariana podcast. This is not a Team Saucy podcast. It's not a Team Scandoval podcast. It's not a Team Anything podcast. We're bringing something very unique to the table with this Bravo universe. And we welcome you guys to our family. And we're very excited to bring something new to the table when it comes to Vanderpump Rules discussion. Obviously, we'll get to the brand new season that just got released this past Tuesday. And I'm very excited to bring something new to the podcast space that's been needed for a while. So welcome, everybody, to the SUR Files. I'm Joshie Lopez. But I'm not alone. This is not a solo journey. I am glad to announce that I'm being reunited with a good brother of all good brothers, a man that I've done podcasts with for almost nearly a decade now, and a man that knows Bravo way more than I know about wrestling. It's my good brother of all good brothers, Mr. Matt McCool. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Josh? I'm happy to be here. Excited to talk about Vanderpump Rules, the Bravo universe, and Housewives. We have a lot to talk about.
For those who don't know, Matt and I used to do a wrestling podcast back in the day called The Pipe Bomb with McCool and Company.
Yep.
We had a lot of spin-offs from the show, but also on my own end, I had a podcast called The Hoots Podcast that's been going around for 10 years and nearly reaching our final episode with episode 500 come around the beginning of 2026. We've been doing podcasting for a lot of years. And we have a unique outlook on things, obviously, and you'll notice that as the episodes go by. But one thing we can promise you guys is that we're going to be consistent with this. We have no filter, so we're not going to hold anything back. But also, when it comes, especially with our discussion about Vanderpump Rules, especially with the fact this could be a look back podcast, what we're going to do here is kind of like contextualize now what's happened. We saw what happened at the end of season 11. We all know the drama coming out of it with Lala and Ariana and Katie and everything. But it's not just about, oh, hey, let's recap season 11. That's been done already. We're going to look back at the entire show as a whole and what made it what it was. Yeah, we'll have our thoughts on the new generation, but also just like a lot of different topics. Like, for example, why was Jax being a fucking bridezilla in season 8? Why is Scheana now being outcast from not only Vanderpump universe, the entire Bravo universe?
Pretty much.
And especially with today's episode, with our pilot episode, later on, I have a proposal that I would like to give to you guys about a book that I'm contemplating writing. For those who don't know, I write transcripts for a living for professional wrestling televised shows. And I never thought in the day I would ever want to write a book in my life. But after delving into the Bravo universe and hearing about Scandoval and what made that was, and watching the podcast and the interviews that's gone on since this happened over the last few years, I have a different take on the Scandoval issue at whole that not a lot of people have expressed here. And we're going to talk about that here on the SUR Files. Not only that, I'll save the proposal pitch later on. I don't want to spoil everything, but I think you guys are going to like it, and it's something unique. But before we get started here, Matt, I just wanted to let everybody know where we're at and where you guys could find us and listen to the podcast. So right now, especially on social media, if you want to follow us, I'm at Twitter at The Hoots Podcast. Or excuse me, X at The Hoots Podcast. Matt is on X at McCool24. I got it right.
Yeah, I'm back at M McCool24 after X screwed over my original handle like they did to you 5 years ago.
Oh God. Yeah, me and X have some history. The fact that people could put out full porn films, but I get suspended for guitar covers. Give me a break. Anyways, you guys can check out the podcast on the feed where you can subscribe to the podcast right now. Is the Hoots Podcast. Once episode 5 happens, we'll transition into the SUR Files. So I don't want you guys to worry that you have to go subscribe to different podcast feeds. So if you go to the Hoots podcast right now and subscribe to there, you can find the podcast in our audio version. On YouTube, we will have the audio versions of this podcast on YouTube as well, available on our YouTube channel at the SUR Files. So hit the like button and smash the subscribe button on the SUR Files, on the road to 1,000 subscribers already. Let's get this train on the road. The SUR Files on YouTube. Instagram, same thing at the SUR Files. I'll try my best to update the Instagram page as best as I can. But more importantly, recently we've been building up a great community on our TikTok page at SUR Files, SUR Files. Really simple there on TikTok. I don't have the exact number, but it's close to like 600 videos on the TikTok page that we have here on the SUR Files, where it's like pulling up interview clips, scenes from the show over the years, takes that I've given on Vanderpump Rules, and a lot of things in between. But we've built an awesome community. I'm looking at the page right now on the SUR Files, and right now we are currently at 1,703 followers, and we've had 118,000 likes so far from the videos that we put out. So I want to thank all of you who have been commentating, and I know I've been promoting this podcast for a while now on TikTok. We're finally here. We're glad to release it for you guys. So at the SUR Files on YouTube, on Instagram, SUR Files on TikTok. Make sure to follow us there. And also, don't forget to follow yours truly and Matt on X at the Hoots Podcast and McCool24 as well. So, Matt, since we're letting everybody get to know us a little bit, let's start off with you. Tell us about your background with the Bravo universe and what made you interested in doing this particular project.
So, Josh, really amazing intro there. I'm really looking forward to talking about Vanderpump Rules and Bravo with everybody. Let me just go into how I got into Bravo. I was home by myself when I was, I think, 15 years old, and I was like kind of flipping through channels like any normal like kid would do, and I stumbled upon this lady pulling this other lady's wig. And that was Sheree pulling Kim Zolciak's wig in Real Housewives of Atlanta season 2. That was 2009. So ever since 2009, I would say probably since maybe 2011, I watched all the Housewives series. I've watched Vanderpump Rules from the start and through the whole series. Just got into Below Deck as well. I just think reality television is very intriguing. Like whether it's just, the whole casting process, what they're looking for, how the cast meshes well together, everything from the behind the scenes production, how they set everything up, they get all the permits and everything, the behind the scenes editing, how people are shown a certain way. Also have been, like you said, done pro wrestling podcasting for a very long time with you. And pro wrestling and reality television have a lot of similarities. Obviously, there's a lot of editing involved in both. I'm looking forward to kind of going back and forth and talking about similarities and differences between the two. But yeah, I love and I live Bravo. I watch all the shows. It's just interesting because I really feel like when you watch reality TV and when I try and explain to other people like, oh, why do you like to watch women fighting? Why do you like to watch the back and forth? Like, it's not about that. It's that when you watch Game of Thrones or you watch House of Cards or you watch whatever show you watch, Stranger Things, you're invested in that character. I've been invested in these characters and they're real people and their lives since I've been watching the show, but it's real life. So it's that gray area there.
Now, before I give my story, I want to ask you this because it's been on my mind and we haven't had a chance to discuss this.
Yeah.
Now that these past 11 years have gone by, what is your main takeaway from Vanderpump Rules? And is there a hot take that you've been waiting to give out about the show as a whole since the original part of it ended in 2024?
I mean, I think the whole show was revolutionary. I mean, obviously we've seen the spin-offs of Southern Hospitality, but it was just lightning in a bottle. I mean, at that time, Lisa Vanderpump was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They had a natural, Sheena Shea had an affair with Eddie Cibrian, and they had a natural way to start that show. And they had this crazy staff that was just doing all these things and not being filmed. It was just lightning in a bottle. Obviously, as the show evolved, they stopped working there and stuff. But I just think we need to kind of to appreciate kind of how it started and where it is, and I guess take and we'll get into this. Take what we're going to be watching now for what it is versus what you had in the past. Because at the end of the day, they can do whatever they want to do. You're not going to specifically replicate that 100%. It's just not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. I don't think neither Matt or myself wants to do the whole comparison thing. I mean, if it's something that's obvious that we need to point out that like something remind us that somebody else did on the OG cast, we'll bring it up. But I don't think this is gonna be okay, we're in episode 3 of season 12, and like, oh, this doesn't compare to season 6 or 8. Like that defeats the purpose. Like there's no point to it, and that's not the way to look at this new cast. Because I'll be honest with you, for those who don't know, I've been like really tied in with my career in doing professional wrestling work, and a lot of my time has been dedicated to the world of professional wrestling. That I didn't have a lot of time to watch other television shows, to be honest with you. My 3 muses, if you will, in my life was wrestling, sports, and music. So I really didn't dedicate a lot of my time to watching television until I stumbled upon Love Island. And that's where I got first introduced to Ariana Madix. You see this thing being trended on Twitter all the time. Love Island, Love Island. Okay, what is? For those who don't know, when I was growing up as a kid, I would watch silly shows like Laguna Beach or
I Love New York, Flavor of Love,
Jersey Shore, a whole bunch of crazy. I've seen reality TV before in my life, but I would never say that I was like a mark for it or something that I was deeply passionate about. But when I first got introduced to Ariana in Love Island, I said first see her and then, man, this girl's fucking hot. What's her story? Well, by the way, I'm just want to preface this. We may say that some women are beautiful, but don't worry, it's not gonna be some weird we're professional. We're not gonna be too crass, but if we're guys, if I see a hot chick, I'm gonna point out that she's a hot chick. All right, so I have to mention that.
Correct.
Right after the gate.
Correct.
We are respectful to women, but this is not gonna be some weird lusting. That's not how we roll here. Anyways, when I first saw Ariana, I wanted to know about her backstory, and that's where I first heard about Vanderpump Rules. To be honest with you, and I went back to watch the entire show from start to end, and I have a personal tie to the show that I didn't even realize at a certain point. So when Scandoval happened, this was March 1st of 2023 when the news came out. Matt, on that day was when I got furloughed from the writing job that I had at Wrestling Headlines.
Oh, wow.
I got furloughed and lost my job the day Scandoval happened.
Wow.
So that's my first tie into this universe.
Yeah.
And then I think I told you this before. My 30th birthday was on that last episode of season 11.
Wow.
May 7th, 2024, where Ariana decided to act like Beyonce and make a fucking scene where she didn't need to make a fucking scene.
Oh, that was so ridiculous. You talked about, not to change the subject, just bring it up really quick. You talked about a couple takes I've had about the show, and appreciating what it is. But I mean, my biggest take would probably be that the whole Scandoval thing has made her so much money, and she did not need to. Not biggest take, but she did not need to act the way she did that whole last season. But we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But having these different personal ties to the show, I never thought in my life I would be into Bravoverse. Like I think Matt mentioned to me like in passing sometimes when we would like record podcasts and stuff like that, but I never looked into it. Like I would see his tweets and sometimes he would
Yeah, you see me crashing out about Housewives stuff and going back
yeah,
and forth with people on Twitter about stuff, or
yeah.
being upset because someone got let go from a show. I'm sure I said "cheers to the girls' weekend" multiple times around you. That was a famous Nene quote. So,
Nene.
yeah, it's fun. The
So
goat.
I would see that in passing and I'm like all right, I'm getting into the show now. I'm enjoying a lot what I'm seeing. I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but for I'll be honest with you, if you ask my honest opinion, I actually am a fan of Tom Sandoval. Um, I also have a tie with him because he plays music, and I appreciate like the work that goes into being in music. And look, nobody's winning a morality contest when we're discussing Vanderpump Rules. Let's just be honest; they're all flawed. Each
Yeah,
and every single person on that show was flawed. I don't condone cheating. I never have. I think that's a lazy excuse without looking yourself in the mirror and taking action to end a relationship. I think both of them are at fault. It doesn't excuse the fact that he went and did what he did.
hmm
We'll get into this as it goes on, but if you ask my opinion, if you ask me, hey Josh, who's your favorite person on the show? For me, it was Tom Sandoval. Um, but I have other ones that I enjoyed over the years, like James Kennedy. I think he would be a great wrestling heel. The guy is
Oh
fucking
yeah.
wrestling crazy, and he has one of the most quotable stuff on that show. I mean,
James and Lala could have been the biggest heels in wrestling when they walked up on that
oh,
rooftop and did that whole thing when they were all together. That was hilarious.
I mean, Lala's a heel before she even opens her mouth. I mean,
Oh, first for sure. For first few seasons. Like I see we've been working on our summer bodies.
oh god, man, man, like there was like two places that shit was gonna go down: mixology or the Mondrian. It's like I had to say that I look at sometimes in life, like what could go wrong will go wrong. If you're
Yeah,
at mixology or you're at the Mondrian, something is bad is going to happen.
absolutely.
So I'm watching the show and then I found out like season 8, for example, was my favorite season of the show. There's just so much shit went down, and uh, one of the reasons I became more of a fan of Sandoval is because of the nonsense that he had to deal with Jax and the whole stuff with the pastor. He wasn't trying to demean his character. He's asking a question, looking out for his girlfriend. But hey, everybody says Sandoval doesn't give a fuck about Ariana. He only cares about himself. He's
Yeah.
asking a question because of her lesbian, like her stance on it. And look, there's no issue with that. But like everybody tried to make him out to be the bad guy, and Jax is, oh, woe is me, like that was who Jax Taylor was the entire season 8. Ooh, oh Tom do this, oh Tom acts like a girl. Ooh. So like don't be wrong, like Jax Taylor is another entertaining guy. Could be a great heel as well. but but hey, number one guy in the group, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So I ended up loving the show, and I never thought I would, Matt. I never thought like
Yeah,
these
I don't
people
I don't remember when you
fans.
told me, but I was like, wow. I was like, interesting. I'm like, all right, I can see it. That's awesome.
Yeah, you gotta give things a chance, right? And here we are. And I was thinking about like that I still want to do podcasting when I was done with the Hoots podcast. Like this opportunity came up, and for those who don't know, one of my main inspirations for doing this podcast is cut off the heels of what Josh Radner, who played Ted Mosby on How I Met Your Mother, and Craig Thomas are doing right now with their How We Made Your Mother podcast, where they're like rewatching and talking about old episodes of the show. I don't know if we're gonna do that. Like, oh, like, hey, let's do season 1, episode 1. I don't know if we're gonna do all that, but
Maybe more like talking about specific like events that happen throughout seasons, like
yes,
or like are we, for example, Jackson Brittany's wedding. Like or what Scheana's old wedding or something like that, not like specific episodes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only specific things that we'll do is what's current. So like
I think that me and you are gonna have and I don't mean to interrupt, it's been on my mind. We're gonna have such an interesting perspective on this because I watched the show from the beginning and I watched it when it was airing. You've just watched the whole thing. There's going to be things that I'm not going to necessarily remember that you're going to jog my memory, and I'm going to have the perspective of watching it at the time, while as you got to digest the whole thing together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you made the perfect point right there. I didn't watch the show until even after season 11 wrapped. Like
Wow.
I think I started watching this last October, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
See, I really.
Yeah, last October. It's crazy
On
how
the entire show would be different if I had watched it after Scandoval and watched it like after season 11. It may have been.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about it when you're watching at the time. When I'm watching it, when I'm, like the first season, like it's just a bunch of young staff that all dates each other and screws up and there's drama and like it's so innocent. But then when you go to season 11, when like they all clearly don't work there and it's just about the friend group, it's completely different.
Right. And I mean, on the surface level, you can look at it and be like, oh, you see something trending on Twitter called Scandoval. Oh, now you want to watch the show. Like, if it wasn't for Love Island, maybe I wouldn't even know what was Scandoval. Like we all have our different paths to it. But I'm glad to say that I did watch the show because I'll be honest with you, like, if you want to talk about like my all-time favorite shows, it's How I Met Your Mother 1, Vanderpump Rules 2, and Friends 3. That's like my three favorite shows, if you ask me, like my all-time favorite shows. So this show does mean a lot to me, and I'm glad that we're doing this project, and I'm excited to see where it comes from. It, you know, what I mean,
I'm definitely excited to continue to watch Josh's Bravo fandom increase and get into, because when you get into Vanderpump Rules, that means you're also, the Valley is very easy to get into. Josh has already watched the Valley. But then you're getting into Housewives of Beverly Hills. You're getting into the summer houses and the Southern Charms of the world, and it's a great time. Always is.
On an unrelated hot take, Tom Schwartz, he should have kept being with Katie Flood from Winter House. She was in Below Deck Mediterranean, I believe.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
I
thought you were about to say he should still be with his Katie, and I was going to say
God,
no.
God,
she
no.
is miserable.
God, no. You know what's the real shame about that, especially with Katie? Because like, there's times on the show that I did like her, but I do agree that there was times where she was like intolerable to deal with. But like, I found out like her brother is like a photographer for WWE. I think that's awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't realize that. That's super cool.
Yeah, like her brother works for WWE. I think that's dope.
I don't think that I've ever. I think that they might be the most opposite couple I've ever like seen in my entire life, between just their personalities, their demeanors. Tom Schwartz and Katie, like they are just not a match whatsoever. Not even remotely the same person.
So I have an idea I want to run by you. This is our first episode. We can try things. In the spirit of how they have taglines in the Housewife universe, what I want to do is state your name and give me your favorite quote from Vanderpump Rules, so we can start this off.
I thought you were going to ask me my tagline, because my tagline changes per season. So I'm not ready to say it yet on the show. I will. I'm always thinking about it. You have to know that. I think the one that like is probably stuck in my head is "It's not about the pasta." Mm-hmm. Is that like the best quote? No, but it's like, it's not about the pasta. Like it's easy to repeat, I think.
Yes. I'll tell you one. This one always cracks me up. I see this in reels sometimes. It's when Jax broke up with Carmen at a pizza shop. Like, I forget which season it was, but this is like when Jax had like two girlfriends at the same time,
Oh yeah.
and he broke up with a girl having pizza at this pizza restaurant, and he's like, I don't know. I mean, you're going to college. I don't know if I'm going to be around. That's my favorite line from that show, man.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. I'll have to rewatch that. That's funny.
I mean, I'm sure there's a gazillion stuff from Stassi that I could pull up, but she has some weird.
Oh, there's so many. There's so many from Stassi. I think it's really funny now that she's becoming like the Andy Cohen of Hulu.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't know why. I don't know. That's something we could discuss in future episodes, but I don't know why she's not on the Valley. To be honest with you, I don't know why.
She should be on the Valley. I think she said that in the past that it's too toxic, and she was approached, and she just does. There's a specific interview that I'll have to look up, but I think she just said that it was just not really the right time for her. She kind of just wanted to, I think, still do reality TV stuff, but just not in that space. I think she reunited with Katie recently, though.
I did see that they had a Christmas. They got these new things now. They got Friendsgiving. I don't know what the term is for Christmas. Friends get together before Christmas. I don't know what that's called, but yeah, they had Dana there from season 8 as well. Dana Kate.
Oh yeah.
Hot chick. Katie and Dana have a podcast called Disrespectfully. You know, it's interesting now. Like, and good on Cass. I mean, you gotta get your bag, right? You gotta get the money when you get it. Nearly everybody on the show has had a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Besides James Kennedy, Lala has a podcast. We had Everybody Loves Tom. Ariana had a podcast for a little while, something like Earth to Ariana or something like that. Jax had Reality Hits, and Brittany took the show over. Their divorce. Jax now's doing In the Mind of a Man or something like that, or In the Mind of Jax.
I thought people said they hadn't heard anything from Jax in like months. I thought that was a blind item recently.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't done an episode in a while. I think he is like focusing on himself. I did hear that during the interviews during BravoCon, so I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, it's just wild that nearly everybody in that cast has had a podcast too. Schwartz has Retox Detox right now.
I think Retox Detox is. I haven't listened to it, but it's a really funny concept. I've seen clips and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's favorite villain from the Valley even has a podcast now. Janet has a show. Kristen Doty has a podcast. Nia has a podcast.
Why does Nia have a podcast? What is Nia's podcast about, or Janet's podcast about?
Well, I think Janet has something with her friend Jared. Jared is like her gay friend, right? That was kind of like stirring the pot.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't know his last name. He seemed like a cool guy from the times I've seen him on the show, but I don't know anything about him. But I know they do a podcast together, and then Kristen has one with Luke. Obviously, congrats, by the way, to Kristen having a kid.
Congratulations for Kristen. Honestly, I want to say this. Kristen's character arc from season 1 of Vanderpump Rules to now has been so amazing to watch. To now, she is the voice of reason on her show, and she is the one that calls out like the correct behavior when, you know, seasons 2 and 3 of Vanderpump Rules, she was all over the place. But it's very nice to see that, number one, she is happy, she's in love, she's a family, and she's finally fulfilled. I'm very happy for Kristen. I just want to put that out there.
I have a quick omission that I want to make. Scratching that. Kristen Doty is my favorite character from Vanderpump Rules. There you go.
It's tough to pick a favorite character because there's up and downs with everybody.
Yeah. All right. So here we are. We just gave you guys a little table of what to expect here on the show, but not only that, give you a little taste of what's to come with the podcast as well. We're very excited. Things are going to be very excited, especially with more episodes of the new VPR being released on Tuesdays. Now, I got to ask you, was it always Tuesdays when like the original show was going on? Was it always on a Tuesday night?
No, it bounces around. I don't think it ever was a Sunday. I want to say it was either a Tuesday or a Wednesday, typically.
Okay.
But I think that Tuesdays was their night for a little bit. It just depends.
Right. All right. So I guess it's time to take a look at what happened, shall
Yeah.
we? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a look at what we call here on the SUR Files a look into the new universe of servers, serving all the tea, serving all the drama in Vanderpump Rules universe. It's time to talk about season 12, season premiere of Vanderpump Rules on Bravo. I love the like. This is unrelated though. There's like this like thing that they had in the Valley after show where they're like promoting like, hey, you can watch the show on Peacock, BravoTV.com, YouTube, and Jax was just flubbing it up the entire time. You guys got to see that because it's hilarious. But so we had the season premiere the other day, Matt, and a lot of ground to cover. I like the fact that they kind of keep it with the same timetable they usually had on the show. It's like 43 minutes. Usually how it goes for the hour-long episodes of the shows, right? So with my work schedule, for those who don't know, I cover a show called NXT on the CW each Tuesday. So I'm probably not going to get a chance to watch these shows live all the time, so I have to watch it the following morning. So that's why I'll go about it here when it comes to this podcast as well. But I watched it on Peacock yesterday morning, and before we get to the new episode, Matt, we talked about this before we went on air. Is there something that you would like to say about Peacock?
Peacock fucking sucks. Peacock is the worst streaming service of all of them. Okay, I've been a Peacock user for years, and I'm almost positive they just threw this thing together when all the other streaming services started, because there's no reason why I have to scroll all the way down, go to Timbuktu and all over the place to find a new episode of a show that was on the night before. It's insane. You can't find anything. And this is somebody that's a big wrestling fan and a huge fan of reality TV and Bravo, and like it's hard for me to find things. It's not
Right.
intuitive. It's hard to find things, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's the drizzling shits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Matt, let's talk, man. What stood out to you? We had a lot of things went down in this episode. Like, I'll start off here real quick. I did like the part where they had the staff meeting, and I like the fact that they addressed kind of like the current state of like the restaurant business in West Hollywood. And it was kind of similar to how it was in season one because, yeah, we had a lot of drama that happened on the show, but there was really a lot of big emphasis on Lisa and SUR as a restaurant in the beginning stages of the original show. So I kind of like the fact that she admitted that these were kind of a struggle for them coming out of the pandemic. And, like, it's not all rainbows and butterflies right now. So what was your takeaway from the first episode?
Oh my gosh! I mean, there's so many different things to say. I looked at it from a different. So when I first started watching, I was like, okay, like some of the same characters and stuff. What I did really appreciate is how much they really tried to make it like it was when they started episode one. But not everybody was like specifically casted and didn't know each other for this show. Like we have the couple that's Rocky. We have the Stassi, like Natalie is a lot like Stassi with how she's been talking about how she got in trouble. We have the staff meeting. We have staff drinking on the job, which I mean it's a little far fetched. Okay, like the first day of filming, you're gonna drink on the job and get yelled at. Interesting. We don't know when they started filming and stuff.
Yeah.
But it did seem very natural. I do like a lot of the personalities. I think they got a lot of the casting to what I can tell pretty spot on to start. I think moving forward, it just is going to be about how their natural relationships develop
Yeah.
and how that gels. and also how it gels between, them working right now and then from seasons 1 to 2. Because there was definitely a difference in the cast between seasons 1 and 2, and there will be for any reality TV show. I'll never forget the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They were the first housewives in the history of housewives to be told they were housewives when they started. So that is a whole different mindset of filming. This whole cast has been told that you're going to be on Vanderpump Rules from the start of filming. It's not just a little show and a pilot. They know what they're going to be on. Now, whether they were told, okay, like you're going to be full time or you're not, they probably tell everybody we'll figure it out so they don't get too cocky. That's usually how it is depending on the show. But yeah, I mean, I thought the first episode was good, and I think I liked it more the second time I watched it.
I'll tell you what, there's a couple things that really stood out to me. Like, I did like how they had like the little, they had the signature like photo where they have everybody sitting in front of the bar and Lisa sitting there. I like that they kept that. So
Yeah.
shout out to Alex, Baskin, and Doug, and the rest of the production team for keeping that. Just from a presentation point of view, where it's not too on the nose of the OG show. I mean, we haven't had the full actual intro of what the new season's gonna look like. I mean, I'm sure they'll keep the old theme song, but we haven't had the thing where the guys and girls are holding their cups in the air.
I think I'm gonna probably laugh out loud when I see Venus like in all of his flipping hair, like
yeah. There's a clip out there if you guys want to check out of John Legend singing the Vanderpump Rules theme song. It's pretty cool actually. But yeah, like the little part at the beginning where they had Lisa saying like "Sir, it's where you take your mistress," something like that.
it was interesting.
I'll tell you what, like one thing I am hoping for this season, and as we get to this new like era of Vanderpump Rules, is that they kind of tap into what's really going on with the actual dating in 2025 compared to 2013 or 2012. I always lose timetable when they actually started recording the show.
I think they filmed in 2011. I want to say.
Okay, that makes more sense then. So like I want to see what they tap into, because like I heard certain like buzzwords that popped out of my head, and it's like ringing in my head like, oh, Joshie, don't go off on this, because there's certain things that I have no tolerance for when it comes to like dating. This whole nonsense of, oh, I'm in Mercury Mercury Renegade or whatever the
Mercury's in retrograde. I learned about that a couple years ago at an old job.
Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde, my ass. All right, like it's not an excuse to crash out like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think, don't get me wrong, Natalie's gonna be a great TV star. Like she has the charisma and everything to it. So like it's not a personal dig at her, but I hate that excuse from women where they use certain things as an excuse for their behavior. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, I also don't know what her motivation was to go to her place of work and ream out her ex-boyfriend, who also works there, who definitely refused to film or wasn't cast on the show. Because it's also giving like, okay, he's not on it's the first episode, he's not on the show. What are we doing right now? Like, it's a little, and also like that you're gonna be filming next week, and you come with your parents and causes like, I don't know, it's a little weird, but.
I mean,
if I were to give a prediction right now based on the first episode, I think she's probably the number one, probably the breakout star so far. I mean,
and mind you, the guy Paulo, the ex, is 54 years old and is 26 years older than her. Like, are you really crashing out that bad over somebody that's nearly half your age?
It's all about her ego. It's nothing to do with losing him. It's about her losing something. It's nothing to do with it at all.
I guess another thing they'll tap into is the thing about situationships, which is another thing that I hope they do address, because I want to point out how silly it is. So, we had kind of a similar thing at the beginning stage of the first part of the show, where it was like Tom and Kristen were on and off, right? Like they had this thing. Now they have Marcus and Kim who are together, but they have kind of an on and off situation.
They're
And then,
they're not gonna last. No way.
yeah,
No way.
doesn't look like that. When the first trailer came out, everybody's like, "Oh, Marcus is the new Sandoval. He's the new Sandoval." I didn't get that vibe at all, to be
No, I
honest with
think
you.
I mean, I think people are trying to compare him to Jax just because of like the.
I tell you what,
I also really did appreciate. I do want to say that came to mind is that the cast was connected. Like
yeah,
it wasn't like they were all like obviously the two half cousins were cast for the show and that's fine. They're
yeah,
looking for somebody to replace Big Jack bartender, fine. Like that's okay. That's what we're used to. But it was nice to see like Marcus and I think the guy's name is Shane. Shane, right?
yes,
It's nice to
yes.
see that they've been friends for like 10 years and that's natural. He also cracked me up too. I thought he was funny.
Yeah, yeah. I got more Jax vibes from Shane, to be honest with you. And it's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I'm here at the bar just to piss off Natalie because I'm here with another girl. I thought
Yeah.
that was funny. I mean, on a cheek, yeah, you don't want to like disrespect women like that, but there's a humor for me and Matt from a wrestling standpoint where like we
Yeah,
could
it's a total heel
that
move.
stuff. Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, like don't hug me." And then she like come on. Like
So just like set the table, like they're getting into like their first night at SUR. We're getting to get to know a little bit of the backstory. I like you said, I'm glad that they do have ties to each other. It's not just like a oh hey, let me audition for Vanderpump Rules reboot. Like that's
yeah,
not.
exactly.
But a couple of things that stood out to me is like they had that big old fight at I think it was the Belmont. The, that's where they went to after they had like their shift was over. They all went to the Belmont and they got this big shouting match because Kim didn't want Natalie to be friends with Marcus, and Marcus is like, no, Natalie's like a sister to me. Right. Right. And they say she's telling Venus, right? It's like, oh, you didn't answer my 100 phone calls and text messages. And I'm like, oh my God. If you need to call somebody 100 times, I don't know if that was an exaggeration or not, Matt, but like
No,
that,
it was probably about 25 times, something like that. It was probably
yeah,
ridiculous. Like how do you expect like someone first of all, like you have to be cordial to someone that you work with. You know what I mean? Like so
yeah,
you're gonna if you work with somebody for 3 years, you're gonna naturally kind of become friendly with them. He's
yeah,
not crossing any boundaries. I mean, based on their interactions, it looks a little flirty, but it's okay. You
yeah.
know?
Plus, I mean, look, well, be honest, like we can't make any grand conclusions today. Well, that's not the goal.
No.
It's the
No,
first
not at all.
episode, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of hope in a way that this cast is kind of messy and all over the place.
They have to be messy.
They had to.
That's the
Uh,
goal.
so I'm curious to see how the rest of that plays out. I mean, it's still, I don't know. For me, just from a moral standpoint, it's not a good look for you to call the guy that you're mad at for like over 100 times and then drive to his apartment after the fact. That's just
Yeah,
a box
that's a little insane.
nonsense.
By the way, when you messaged me, you said that Natalie is batshit crazy. When I first read it, I thought you were talking about the owner Natalie when she was crying. I was like,
Oh
what?
no.
I was like, what? I was like, I mean, I do remember Natalie, and she had a husband.
I did too.
I don't know whether they're are
Guillermo.
they divorced or did he pass or is he not in
No,
business?
he
Or
no, he's still around. He's
oh,
actually
good.
behind. He does like Instagram work on their on the restaurant's page.
Oh,
By the
good.
way,
Okay, good, good. I was just making sure. It was just weird not seeing him on the show too.
I'll be honest. Another inspiration for the title for our podcast is actually coming off their Instagram page. It's called SUR Rules. So SUR Files, SUR Rules. So that was
Yes.
another inspiration for that. Um, I'll be honest with you, I haven't been to LA before. The only time I've been in California was for WrestleMania 31. I was covering the event where the 49ers play. Uh, Levi Stadium, I think it is. That's when they first opened that stadium, too. It was 10 years went by in a blink of an eye, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm out there, right? I've never been to LA before, but now that I've watched the show, I'm like, yeah, I really want to go see SUR in person. Like
I
want.
always thought about that back in the day. Like if you like back when seasons 1 and 2, like if you went to LA, would they be working? Like I think like for the first couple seasons, like I don't know. It
I
just
mean, it'd be cool to see if like it was like an actual recording going on, but like I just want to be there in that ambiance and
I
like
want to be there in the atmosphere too. I wouldn't care about meeting. I'm not a button to like that. By the way,
yeah, me either.
we are
Like
both not like that. Everyone's a human being.
yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, like
No,
you can meet them, like yeah, it'd be cool and we'll shoot the shit or whatever. But it's not like I'm not going there to like stalk these people. Like no,
no.
I'm there to check it out. Do I want goat cheese balls? I don't know. I don't know.
That's the famous thing that serves the good cheese balls.
um, but I would like to check out the SUR Alley. I would.
Absolutely.
Um,
The drinks also looked excellent, by the way. And like I was
yeah,
like 19 when the show first, 18 maybe, or so, like when the show first aired. So
yeah.
know a little more about alcohol now. So the drinks looked excellent. Those strawberry drinks.
Those look really good. They really did. I'll tell you what, Matt. I hate to bring it back to the old show, but like, um, because this was like one of the scenes that really stood out to me from that last season was when Tom first saw Scheana after everything happened, and they had that conversation in the alley after his friend Ali passed away, and Scheana was mad that Sandoval blocked her on all her Instagram pages and everything. You blocked Summer Moon. Like it was like Tom went out of his way to block her daughter's Instagram page. He's like, okay, here's Scheana, and block everything, every account associated with that, so I don't have to see you.
Oh my
Literally,
gosh.
this, literally every her disparaging his character every single week. Like, I think he said on the podcast that she even had like his neighbors as a guest to talk about his walking habits as if he was a narcissist. Like she interviewed neighbors of Ariana and Tom just to
Oh
talk
my
shit about
god.
him. So like they had this like conversation with Sir Alley, and then they're bringing up this whole thing about her and like somebody that had like sex or whatever with Rachel, and like it really messed up what Rachel said because she was in the Meadows, the mental health facility at the time, and Sandoval's telling Sheena like, "Hey, back off! Like you're going a little too far right now." And I agree with him. I'm glad that he said that. And I mean, she had this like cool Y2K look, and it was really interesting. It was kind of like the early episodes of season 11, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm not trying to bring you and Rachel down. Nobody wants harm to you guys." Sure, sure.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't want to harm you. I have a lot of hot takes when it comes to the Sheena of the all. When it comes to that whole Scandoval thing, everybody wants to jump down on Tom Schwartz's throat as if Sheena had no idea what was going on the entire time. Oh, I'm such a good friend of Ariana, but I'm close to Rachel too. But no, this whole time,
No,
they
you're not.
yeah, this whole time you're like, oh, I'm really good friends with Rachel. So all that time from the end of the day shooting the movie where they had the Brock and Sheena wedding in Mexico, through all the time, even before Scandal became a thing, Rachel didn't come to you one time and tell you that she had something going on with Sandoval. Not one time. Not one time. I don't buy that. I just don't.
Really?
I don't. I think Sheena knows as much about it as Schwartz does. And that's my hot take for today.
Really? You think she
Yeah.
knew the whole time?
Yes.
And she faked it?
Yeah.
And the whole story about her slapping Raquel after Watch What Happens Live and it
That
all
that was the safe face. That's how I feel about it. But that's another topic that we can do down the road. Let's go back to the show really quick.
yeah.
So they had the staff meeting because Marcus got caught giving Jason like I think it's what was the drink they gave
They
her?
did shots and then they were drinking sangria.
Yeah, there was sangria, And like Lisa's giving him crap because he's trading Jason to be a server, right? Jason's gonna be a server. He's not a busboy compared to like James was. um, so I thought that staff meeting was good. Then we get to see Audrey for the first time on the show, which again, amazing to look at. I'm curious to see if we get more information about her.
Yeah, I love her energy. I really do. I think she's
Yeah,
got
me
great
too.
energy. She's also got natural energy too. Like she's not giving like I'm thirsty or I'm cancer. Like I love
Yeah.
her energy.
I agree with that too. One of the funny lines that they had when they had that crazy like argument at the Belmont, where she's like, "Oh, she's describing the whole situation with Kim and Marcus, right? It's like, are we in the 1900s where you're not allowed to have guy friends? No, you're not allowed to have girlfriends when you're in a relationship with somebody. Like,
Yeah,
are we in the 1900s? I thought that was
yeah. That's ridiculous.
so. A lot of the episodes of that first episode was kind of just laying the groundwork of the dynamics where everybody's at
Yep.
right now. So, and then we had Venus on the show, who's best friends with Natalie
And
but
Marcus.
and Marcus, and Venus is also friends in a way with Kim.
Yep.
But I think that kind of goes in the opposite direction as we saw kind of in the trailers for the whole
Seems like
season.
it's going to do that. I mean, I thought the way the first episode set up the whole first season was great. You got introduced to the whole cast. You got their dynamics. You saw them go out for a night, and then you get the little cliffhanger in the trailer for the whole season. I mean, it appears that this has been done the right way. And what I will say is I'll give Bravo and Andy and Alex Baskin all the credit in the world because they really did take their time with this and reality TV with casting, especially when it comes to a franchise that is so iconic like Vanderpump Rules, you have to make sure you get it right. And I gotta be completely honest. I'll use the New York reboot as an example. They didn't get it right. They rushed a reboot. They tried to typecast a show, and it failed. So, and they've been struggling with it since. So I give them a lot of credit for that, them taking time to make sure this cast and this was presented right, and it was the right time to film, of course, too.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I'll be honest, with you, just even with it being a season debut, I thought the pacing of the show was pretty good too. I didn't feel like any part of it dragged, so I thought the flow of the first episode came off really good. And I think especially with the one thing I give credit to Vanderpump just for the entire franchise is that the pace of the episodes. I never felt like a lot of them dragged, to be honest. Maybe there was a couple in the last season that I wasn't like too like crazy about, to be honest with you. But I just for the most part, I like the flow of the show and how they format it, at least from what they're editing and splicing in between. So I'll say that. Very quick, what's your thoughts on Chris and Jason, the half cousin with the crazy eyebrows? Like, what's your takeaway from those two?
I mean, I think it was presented in the best way possible. I caught a clip of them before like the show aired, so I wish I didn't see that because I was like, oh my god, like come on, we get like the two half cousins from Jersey that left Jersey, but they gave a good explanation. They're like, look, we're working at SUR because we want to like connect with people, and he didn't. It's not like the cast had to be like, oh, you were on 5 reality dating TV shows. He said he was, which was it was
Yeah.
definitely very refreshing to hear. I think the one guy definitely plays Jax, and I don't really know why the other half brothers on the show. It's a little odd, but hey, that's I guess because they don't have a natural connection to the cast. Maybe that's why he was brought in, so he had a friend on the show and knew somebody. I'm not sure, but I think I'll take it as it goes. Is my answer.
My takeaway with that is that I feel like they want one super young girl or like one super young boy. So that's maybe why Jason's on the show.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, some of the things he said, especially during that beach scene, I thought was kind of cringe. I forgot the particular line there was. I have nothing wrong with Chris. even though he had a weird like facial expression when he was doing that Robert De Niro impression, like I want to be Robert De Niro or whatever that was. I thought that was funny, but like when they had that whole beach scene, like just the vibe off the gate from Jason is just not there for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But we'll give it time. It's just the first episode. Lastly, for as we wrap up this first part of the for the recap for the first episode, um, we had Demi, who actually was shown in the background of season 8. She was actually working at the time at SUR.
I thought that was interesting too.
So she was in the background. She's a manager at SUR, so she's kind of taken over Peter's role. I wonder if we get a Peter cameo. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
What was your thoughts on Demi, and then also kind of the whole thing where her and Natalie share X, and then Natalie's like singing a song called "Passenger." Like, how do you feel about the whole dynamic with her and Natalie?
Where do you want me to start?
Yeah.
So I really do like that Demi, that they're leaning into the restaurant management aspect of the show.
Mhm.
Peter was on the show. Peter was never a main part of the cast. Like he was in the background, but you never felt like Peter was a main part of the show. And I'm happy that Demi is going to be a part of the show because she is the manager. She is technically one of their bosses. So
Yeah.
I do like that. The whole thing that like she just kind of brushed under the rug that Natalie stole her man. I guess she didn't care. That was a little weird. She's like, yeah, I don't really care, which was odd. And the whole passenger song because she got laid was odd. Her voice isn't terrible. I don't know, but
It was better than Lala's boy song. I'll tell you that.
it gives very Gen Z, but that's okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna write a song because I got laid. Oh my god! So why were you with a 53-year-old when you're 26 and you're not getting laid? What is the point?
Exactly. That's a great question.
Ching ching ching.
I will tell you. I'll tell you this though. I saw some people were like, "Oh, really? We're going to rip off Scheana singing songs in the studio." I mean, look, they're in West Hollywood. They want to be actors. They want to be musicians.
Yeah, like that. I don't care about. I care about that. I think it's worse that Scheana actually thinks that she's going to be a pop star when she clearly has a bad voice. So that's oops.
All right, quick question. Original or emo version? Like, which one of Good is Gold do you prefer?
I don't think I've heard the emo version. If I have, I forgot about it.
Yeah, you gotta look it up. I think
so.
it was on season 11.
Is it like a rock song or is it just?
Yeah, it's a little
all right,
rock.
I'll go with the rock song because the other one is the new original is very cringy.
There was another one, Katie Freak Bitch. Was that the other song that she had? Where she was like, remember they had the gay pride parade and they were all on that like moving truck or whatever, and they had Scheana singing the entire song. And Saucy was pissed or whatever. Like, oh, I gotta sit here for 6 hours hearing Scheana sing.
No, thank you.
So, all in all,
somebody's doing some housework in the townhouse next door. It kind of sounds like Scheana singing.
Oh God, that's brutal.
Yeah, it is.
All right, man. So overall, good vibes coming out of the first episode.
Yeah, I think really good vibes. I think, like I said, I liked it the second time when I watched it better, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the relationships of the cast gels. I think that's the most important, is how the cast connects, and also the storylines. Like I really hope that, and this has happened a lot in Housewives recently, where we've had Kiki Monique come on Orange County. Can we not involve bloggers and things that don't happen on screen? Like, I really hope that and this is also in between seasons 1 and 2. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's keep about the relationships on screen, about the conflict on screen, and have it nothing to do with things that don't happen on camera. Let's try and keep it that way. But I do think that overall, I'll give episode 1 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot more staged, and it seemed natural while giving nuances to the old Vanderpump Rules. So I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I'm on the same vibe with you. I'll go at 8. I think with these, like, for the recast for the episodes, we'll do call this a vibe check, because
I like that.
eight sounds good. I'll tell you, one of the things I did like real quick was Marcus being up front and being like, "Yeah, I'm an asshole." He's not like putting up front, like he's saying clearly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I'm an asshole. I mean, yeah, I mean, I probably want to boo you and punch you in the face if you got a punchable face, but hey, at least you can admit
yeah.
that. But anyways, before we conclude our first episode, there's two more things that we need to do. First question, though, before we get to the book proposal, um, you were just saying that you don't want kind of like podcastings and like stuff from the internet to.
It's happened way too often on Housewives.
I'll be honest with you. This is a little part of the show. We'll talk about Valley right now, about the Valley. I don't think it's gonna be a big thing, but I think there's gonna be a little of that sprinkled in for season 3 because of the stuff that's going on with Lala and Scheana. And I guess before we get into the rest of the show, I do want to address that with you. What's your thoughts on the whole? Have you heard anything about this whole thing that's going on with Lala and Scheana and their fallout? And how do you feel about Scheana not being part of the Valley for season 3 and everything going on there?
Yeah, so I'll go with the second part first. I think I feel bad for Scheana because I really feel like she really wanted this to be like the next chapter with her and Brock. Obviously, they were filmed a lot last year, and certainly, I'm sure she wanted to be on the show. I got to be honest, I'm happy they're not on the show. I think she needs to take a little step back. She gives a little thirsty at times. But for season 3, I'm super excited. Tom Sandoval is a full-time cast. Tom Schwartz is a full-time cast member, and same with Lala. I think that they might hook up, and there might be some flirtation with them. So that's going to be kind of fun to watch, and obviously all the other drama. And in terms of Scheana and Lala, I know they did have a falling out. I don't think I remember specifically what was said, but. I will tend to be on Lala's side.
Yeah, it's getting crazy right now. I guess, like, from what I recall, because I do listen to both of their podcasts. Like, I do like daily walks these days, so I pick a different podcast throughout the week to listen to each day. So it changes. So I do this on my downside. I do kind of listen to like some reality TV podcasts. So I listen to Lala's, Sheena's, and I also like Brittany's podcast because she cracks me up. I just like her energy.
She's funny.
Yeah, so I guess the thing of this had something to do with a girl named Jenna Willis, who is a mutual friend of Lala and also has had some personal issues with Scheana over the years. And I forget the particular issue or something tied to Brock. But obviously, the whole thing with the affair came out during her book, which is giving her a lot of shit. And I mean, kudos to Alice Basket for appearing on her podcast about a month ago or something like that, where it kind of clarified the whole issue of whether the network was mad at her for things that she mentioned on the book, or the fact that she was ripping on Lisa Vanderpump a lot on the book. So I'm glad that Alice Bassett was there to kind of clear up a few things. But the main thing was that there was this spat that happened while Scheana was driving Lala's daughter Ocean back to the house. So they live on the same block with each other. I think their houses are actually next door to each other, which is the more fucked up part about this whole situation. The sad thing is that Summer and Ocean are really good friends. They go to school with each other. And something happened, and Lala called Scheana on the phone and started giving her the right act and started cursing right in front of Ocean that was in the car. And that was not a good look. And then the whole thing with Jenna Willis being dragged in, I guess she just has like some really deep issues with Jenna Willis. And then, yeah, it's just like there's a bad issue of miscommunication going on right now. And like, I don't know, a lot of some weird misdirected anger because both of them were so tied together during that last season for season 11. They were like attached to the hip in a way, like they were so close. So in a year and a half since that happened, all the shit's gone down, and now they can't stand each other. They're not even talking to each other. So it's sad, man.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. I hope that there's some remedy to it, but there's there's a lot of prideful there's a lot of pride between both of these girls, and when you have pride, that's going to get in the way of a lot of things, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I hope at least for the sake of their daughters. I mean, what if they're like they're tykes?
Like
They're
3, 4 years old.
yeah. Hopefully, they can at least be cordial. But I mean, I don't know, like how they're young, so
Yeah, exactly. And I'll also say this: I'm happy for Lala that things went good with Sosa, and then she was able to have another kid on her own terms and stuff. I was glad to see that, so I thought that was pretty
yeah,
cool.
for sure.
All right, Matt. I talked about this before we record the podcast today. I've been sitting on this idea for a little while now about writing a book about Scandoval. And I'm going to propose my pitch to you and everybody that's checking this out here for our first episode of the SUR Files. We thank you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure to follow the podcast on YouTube at the SUR Files. Also, check out the audio versions at the Hoots Podcast, Odyssey, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts from. The name of the feed will change to the SUR Files once episode 500 is over. So just be on the lookout for that. But also follow us on TikTok as well at the SUR Files. So I never knew that I wanted to write a book, but now that I've done my research about Scandoval and Vanderpump Rules as a whole and looking to see what's happened the last few years, my proposal to you guys is this. You have one of reality TV's biggest cheating situations of all time, blasted all over social media, became a viral sensation, but at the root of what happened, I think it's the best thing to happen to the three participants in the situation. And what I want to do with this book is not tap into the low-hanging fruit and the whole worm on the mustache and blah, 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 things that you've heard on a gazillion podcasts and interviews. Like, I think Scandoval in a lot of ways has been talked to death, at least from a certain narrative.
Yeah.
In a certain perspective, I think the topic has been talked to death. And I know that my stance is going to bother some people, that I don't think that Tom Sandoval is like a devil. So I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but I don't give a shit. I don't think that's the case. I don't think he deserved the treatment that he got on season 11. I thought it was way overboard, to be honest with you.
It was ridiculous.
And there's aspects of Ariana that I respect, but there's a lot of things that, has been put in a blind eye. And I don't feel like there was any love between them. I don't. And to make the whole thing out as if he never cared about her, it's not the case. Why would he be a target for everybody to lash out at him when he was trying to defend her honor and asking about the pastor before Jax and Brittany's wedding? Nobody wants to bring that up. Sure. And as I say that, I know that Sandoval makes it difficult for me to be a fan of him because sometimes he does put his foot in his mouth, and I understand that. I can be balanced, and that's one of the fun things you guys will get with this podcast is that me and Matt are fair, and that we can be balanced about certain things. But
and we're gonna be wrong about things too, just like wrong about anything.
Yeah, exactly. So when I look at the situation as a whole, it's not just one black and white take of, okay, Tom and Rachel are the scum of the earth and Ariana does nothing wrong. That's not the angle that I'm going to go with this book. What I want to do is look at the situation, what happened. I want to bring up the stuff that I mentioned a little while ago about, I think Scheana knew about it the whole time, just like Schwartz did. I don't think Sheena's completely innocent in this whole situation. Hey, Ariana, I punched that bitch in the face. But you're hanging out with her drinking. And also, don't forget on that Watch What Happens Live, go back. They had Andy ask both Rachel and Scheana a question like, hey, who do you think is the hotter Tom out of the Toms, Schwartz or Sandoval? Both of them said Sandoval at the same time. and Scheana played it off like, oh, she was surprised by the answer. I'm not buying it,
Wait,
man.
didn't Rachel wear Raquel wear the necklace that he gave her on Watch What
Yeah,
Happens Live that night?
the lightning bolt. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there's a lot of ground to cover, but one of the things, and I told Matt about this before, what I want to address is kind of like the healing and the fact that this was the best thing for all three of them. Tom and Ariana needed to get away from each other. It was just not a sustainable relationship, and it was not going anywhere. And not only from a personal standpoint, but I also think professionally, they both kind of were dragging each other down. And then with Rachel, I'll admit, like, I admire the fact that she's gone through this mental health journey, and then now she's like helping people out, doing sound baths and doing stuff like that. And you see the stuff that she does on Instagram, and I think it's really cool. And I think people do deserve second chances, and I don't think this should be something that Rachel or Tom in general should wear for the rest of their life. You know, it's a shitty thing that they did, and they own up to the mistakes that they did. But let's look at this from a healing standpoint. How did three people better their lives from one of the worst and craziest cheating scandals in the history of television? So that's my proposal to you guys. Matt, you have any thoughts?
No, I mean you shared this with me before we started, and honestly, I mean in so many ways I agree with you. I mean Sandoval definitely. I mean certainly when it started he wasn't better off, but like a lot of times in life there are things that happen to you, and when they happen to you, you don't understand why they're happening to you, and you realize later on that was meant to be. It was a part of my journey, and I think that's really kind of where you're getting at with this. It's for all of them. I mean, obviously, if Ariana, like she's met a guy she's been with for, she seems pretty happy. She's made a lot of money. She's all over the place. She's all over NBC on the upfronts and everything. Obviously, Raquel got out of the spotlight and she went to therapy and healed herself. I'm not sure how she's doing, but I think doesn't she have a podcast or something? I think
she used to.
I thought she, not sure how she's doing, but she's removed from a toxic situation. And Sandoval, I believe, is doing better. He's touring, and I think he has a new girlfriend too. So it seems like all parties now, over 2 years later, it seemed like it was for the best.
Yeah,
it just wasn't for the best in terms of how it happened. It's the reason why me and Josh are doing the show right now. Because if this didn't happen, I don't know if you would have gotten into Vanderpump Rules, and now we're here. So
more information will come out once I finally start like mapping out like a format and how I want to go about actually writing this. But I'm excited for it because and look, I'm not expecting that like Tom or Rachel or Ariana would want to talk to me about the situation, and I don't blame them personally. I mean, a lot of stuff that's been said, and if anything, I would probably just like take quotes from what they mentioned on their podcasts and stuff like that.
Or in interviews and stuff.
I want to do right by all three of them, so it's like I'm not going to take the words out of context. I want to say what they have to say on the matter because there's already been a lot of shit that's been documented already at this point, and I'm sure there'll be like a bigger documentary down the road, or maybe they make a movie out of it. I don't know, but if there's a way that I can do something different and kind of a positive outlook where it benefits all three of them, that's what I want to do. And I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I could talk to a producer that was on the show at the time, something else. But I don't want to do the whole thing of like where 99.9 of the book is me shitting on Tom Sandoval and making the only situation about him. Because there's a lot more that played into that situation than just the initial act of cheating.
Yeah.
So that's my proposal for the book. So before we wrap this up, as I do on the Hoots podcast, we have a Q&A segment that we do, and we're juggling around names right now for our Q&A segment. But if you have any comments or suggestions, comment down below and let us know what you would think would stand out. So the concept for our Q&A title for this segment would be something somewhere around with the vibe of airing out your grievances or going to the SUR alley. So what we want to do here with the Q&A segment is where like you can ask us about your takeaways from the OG show and like like things that haven't been addressed, or give your thoughts on the new episodes that are going on in the Valley. Nothing's off limits, so you guys can
No.
ask us anything you want. Anything.
Yeah, if you, I want to interact with you guys, so please tweet Josh, tweet me at McCool24 about like while you're watching the shows. Like I'll probably be sitting watching. Tonight's is the premiere of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'll be watching that. I'll be watching Southern Charm and Below Deck Med and all that stuff. And also, if you guys want to ask us, if you have questions about sports or about wrestling or whatever, me and Josh will be happy to answer them because we have interest in those other things too. But
yeah.
the main thing with this segment is it's about having your voice being heard, and whether it's an opinion about something you want to get our take on, or it's a direct question, feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so the working title that we have right now is called Can We Talk? So that's kind of the thing they would say to each other when they needed to go to the back alley of SUR. A lot of crazy moments have happened in that back alley. Obviously, before Tom and Jax first fight in the season 2 during Scheana's engagement party, and Jack's like, I don't have any remorse. I did it. What do you want me to say? I do a pretty good Jax impression.
He cracks me up.
So we did get one question here on TikTok. So I want to give a shout out to Mandy. Mandy was reaching out to me on TikTok, and she was saying that she's excited for the release of the episode. So shout out to Mandy on TikTok.
Thanks, Mandy.
She said, why hasn't anyone seriously called out Tom Schwartz for his abusive behavior, or how he throws the lowest of low insults to people he considers his friends, especially Katie? It's literally always swept under the rug because of the commitment to act like a naive little boy. Damn. Right for the jugular. Oh, man.
I mean, I see what she's saying, like, because that's just Tom's personality. He's very happy-go-lucky. Have I seen him say, like, try and finish a sentence in a confessional when, like, he's trying to say something, but he won't actually say it? Yeah, but I don't know if I don't agree with the tone of the question, and I don't think that he's of all the cast, I think he's probably the one that's insulted people the least of anyone on the show throughout the whole series. So,
yeah, Mandy, I wouldn't classify it as abusive behavior. Now, him throwing drinks on women, I don't think is the right call either. I mean, also at the same time, people are human and people make mistakes. Him pouring a drink on Stassi during her birthday. You remember the whole thing with Frank?
My God! But like, come on, guys! Like let's not be naive here. Everyone there is skiing and drinking, and everyone is effed up. Okay, it's like.
Yeah. I thought it was funny though. Like you have Stassi's. It's my birthday. It's my fucking birthday, and she's with Frank at the time. Jackson's not invited. Oh, here comes Jax with his white.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh my God, man! That was.
I would love to hear the perspective of production on how filming that first season was. Like, just like I can't imagine. Like that scene must have been like, was it a cash trip? And Stassi said to him like, "You can't come to my birthday." But he went anyway. I don't know. I love to hear the behind the scenes.
Going back to the question from Mandy, I will say that like there has been times where Schwartz has chose to rather being a people pleaser instead of just saying what he needs to say and say with his chest. I will say that he was kind of being like a cowtail bitch during season 8. Like he didn't want to get any heat from any of the girls when it came to the whole Scandoval stuff, especially even that whole weird argument that Stassi had with Scandoval about the book signing and about the whole procedure of it all. Look, him and Scandoval were getting freaking ridiculed every chance that Lisa can at both of them, even before they opened Tom. So here you are, independently, they're running their first event together without her being there and babying them. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking pressure going on. So I can understand why Sandoval was upset about it. Now, does that excuse him to send a stupid rage text at 3 o'clock in the morning? No, but you nip it in the bud. But no, Stassi had to make it all about her, make it about herself and throw a fucking hissy fit about it. And Schwartz like, oh, I had nothing to do about it. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do. Come on.
I don't believe. I thought that he was that season. He was held to a whole nother standard of, oh, you shouldn't be around like your friend, and it was okay. Like, we've been best friends for 10 years, so I don't think that that's because he's wrong in the public eye. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that if I'm being 100% honest, and I will be on this show at all times,
yeah,
I think all the girls on that show, not all the girls, like, everyone just played to the audience with Ariana. Everyone was feeling bad for Ariana at the time. People have to remember this was filmed, I think it was like 2 months after this happened, 3 months after this happened. So
yeah,
this is really fresh. So obviously they're gonna play. They're playing up to how the audience feels and stuff. And I understand they're not wanting to be around Sandoval. I get that. But also, though, you sign a contract, you agree to film. That's it. I can't stand on these reality TV shows when people say, "Oh, this person's not invited to my party. Oh, I'm not going to want to be around you." Well, then you're not going to be on the show because they're also contracted to be on the show. So get over it. Ariana signed a contract. Film with Sandoval. It is what it is. You signed it. You didn't have to sign it if you didn't want to. And
yeah,
that's those are my thoughts.
yeah. She didn't have to say anything at that Kyle Champ party, but you didn't have to storm out of the building like.
Also, Scheana admitted that was that whole thing was staged at the end.
Of course it was.
That was ridiculous. They were obviously trying to get another season. They knew it was over.
But man, I do appreciate you sending the question. I will say there was a couple times where Schwartz,
I do too.
Like Schwartz would like fire up at Lala, calling her a bootleg housewife, and I think he called Scheana a bootleg Kardashian too. I thought that was pretty funny.
She is a bootleg Kardashian.
But I do agree to one extent from her, especially when it came to the stuff with his marriage with Katie. I thought he didn't stand up for himself enough. I felt like he just cowered too much to her. But hey, that's the reason why they ended up not working for each other. They just didn't mesh after a while. But yeah, that. So what, like you said, for this Q&A segment, we don't have an exact title yet for it, but we're open to suggestions, and it can be anything about the history of the show or anything you guys want to talk about. So just let us know, and we'll do that at the end of each episode. So with that being said, Matt, any final words you want to share with the good folks before we wrap up our first episode here?
Yeah, Josh, I thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you thinking of me from the start when you had this idea. I couldn't be more excited to go on this journey with you and reconnect and hang out and talk about reality TV and talk about SUR. I'm looking forward to a really great season for Vanderpump Rules, continuing great seasons for all Bravo shows. I'm looking forward to interacting with you guys. Please, please, please interact with me. Feel free to send me questions. Like I said, I'll be watching these shows with you guys too, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. And don't forget, next week's episode, not only will tap into episode 2 for season 12, but also what we're going to do next week, we're going to give you our initial takes on our stance on the Valley as a show. We didn't really get to talk about it too much today, but we're going to do that on next week's episode where we give you our thoughts on the Valley as a show. And also we got a special segment that Matt's going to do when it comes about the universe of Real Housewives. There's so many shows of Housewives, I've lost count at this point. So Matt is our Real Housewives expert, and I give him the platform to rant or take or whatever he wants to.
Or name them.
Yeah, name them. Yep. But we'll do that all next week. But don't forget, make sure to follow Matt on X and on Instagram at McCool24. I'm on Instagram at Josh Lopez Music, X at the Hoots Podcast. And don't forget, you can subscribe to our podcast right now on YouTube, youtube.com at the SUR Files, the SUR Files. And make sure to follow us on TikTok at SUR Files as well. And we'll have more content and video content coming your way on TikTok as well. Maybe me and Matt can do like separate individual like takes on the show, and we can post those on TikTok for you guys to digest it.
Yeah, we could live tweet the show at some point, if we decide to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can do, man. This can be a fun project, and you got two guys here bring something different to the table in the Bravo universe, and we are honored to do this project for you guys. And folks, welcome to the SUR Files. We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.
You know, this is the time. These are the best days of our lives. Let's raise your glasses high. This one's for you tonight.